So in the past on my channel, I've made videos where I've documented my journey about moving from Canada to Europe, specifically Berlin. And I knew that it would be exciting, and I knew that it would be challenging, and I knew that it would put me in situations that are uncomfortable. But as that cliche saying goes, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Now, why am I even telling you this while I'm here at a beach? Well, it's because I am here in Durrës, a seaside city in Albania. And I never thought I would be here because it was not on my radar. So Katerina and I wanted to plan a little beach getaway. And for me, being someone who grew up and basically lived most of his life in Canada, when you think of a beach getaway, you think of some of the bigger name destinations like Mexico or Hawaii or Italy. And then there's Croatia, of course. So for me, moving away and leaving everything I know, being pushed to the end of my comfort zone, led me to discovering this beautiful region of Albania. So I'm so glad that I've been able to. So I guess I wanted to make a video talking about this sort of developing and up and coming place where the people have been so kind, the food has been exceptional, and also, hopefully for them, a place where more people will consider a destination. Because there's a lot of beauty in this land. So right now we're just walking the main boardwalk in Plage, which is a little district, the main beach district of Durrës, which I mentioned in the opening of the video. Durrës is the second biggest city in Albania. You fly into the capital, which is Tirana Airport. And from Tirana Airport, it is approximately a 25-minute taxi ride to Plage. The thing about staying in Plage is it really is for you to hang out at the beach, relax. It has a lot of what they are trying to build up to, similar to Portofino.
Yeah,
if you would,
probably,
you know,
yeah.
You get a lot of the beaches with all the coordinating umbrellas. And right now you can see there's a lot of activity. You probably can't see in this shot, but we've been here since the beginning of the week, and they have been building and grooming and setting up. And you can tell that they're building up to what they hope is, I'm assuming, a really, really busy summer for them. And while we were here, it's still been really wonderful because the weather has been nice. And even though the beaches haven't been fully set up, that's sort of the beauty. You get sort of these beaches to yourself. The thing about staying in this area is it's about a 15-minute cab ride to the city center. And you can walk it, but the walk's about an hour.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there are sections of it where it's still main sort of highway road, so it's not the most pleasant walk, but it's around a 10 to 15 euro cab ride to the city center. Now, when I reference some things and some prices, I'll probably reference it in euro, which is similar to the US dollar right now, but they use, well, their currency is the lek.
Yeah.
So 100 lek is about €1 or about $1 US.
Yeah. You forgot to mention the bus ride.
Oh yeah, that's right. So you can actually take the bus from Plage, the beach area, to the city center of Durrës, and it only costs 40 cents.
Yeah.
So that's 40 cents US or euro, which is 40 lek.
Yeah.
And the bus ride is actually pretty quick. I would say it was about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And the bus comes apparently every
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Yeah, so you just hop on the bus. There is a ticket operator standing on the bus. You just pay him the payment and he gives you your little ticket.
It was so much fun being on that bus because it was a local experience. As soon as we got off the bus, we started walking around the city, and one of the things I remember the most is this main square. There was the main mosque of Durrës, the concert hall, and I believe there was also the city hall that we walked past.
The city has a lot of really cool architecture from what we noticed, and the buildings felt really monumental. And I think at some point they could have held some sort of historical significance, maybe. Yeah, we then made our way down to the main street, which was lined with palm trees. And I think that's the reason why Durrës gets compared to Miami.
It was the street was very spacious, and it reminded me a lot of Miami when I was there.
Yeah, from what I can remember, that's the vibe that I got as well. Next up, we started venturing towards the old wall, and I'm not as familiar with European cities, but Katerina has always told me that all these cities usually were surrounded by old walls to keep out unwanted people.
Yeah, they were built in a circle with the wall around it, and in Durrës it was really cool because there was actually a really big part of the old wall that was still there, and they had skillfully integrated it into the new city, which I thought was just a very nice way to combine the old and the new.
Yeah, and what I found most interesting was how thick the walls were. The next thing that we started to look into was the amphitheater that used to exist in Durrës. And before we got there, we had done some research and we knew it was there and we wanted to see it. Unfortunately, there was a earthquake in 2019, which have kind of left it looking not as pretty as it could have been.
Yeah, and we noticed the same about some parts of the city. You can tell that things were rebuilt because of the earthquake, and especially in the amphitheater, you can see it.
We made our way down to the Seaside boardwalk, and I think this is probably the highlight of the main part of Durrës. It's again filled with beautiful palm trees next to the sea, and there were these little piers that led out to these restaurants and cafes, and you just got a really great view from everywhere. One of the main things that was recently built in Durrës is the Sufllaqe steps, and it's this really cool gathering point, and it's exactly what it is. It's just steps where you can get a 270-degree view of the sea. But why I particularly loved it is there's these beautiful leading lines, and the way the light hits the steps, it's just a perfect place for photographers and video people, and most importantly, watching the sunset there.
Yeah, all the locals gather and watch the sunset and just sit on the steps. Some men were fishing, I believe.
Yeah, there were some older locals watching the sunset. We didn't film the most beautiful one because I didn't bring my camera that day, because this trip really was more about a relaxing one. I didn't bring that many cameras out at all, actually.
And then for our final night, we decided we want a very unique dining experience. And I had researched before we went, and I found something called agroturismo, which is a agriculture focused farm that has opened to the public. And what the public goes there for is either special dining experiences or to celebrate.
And the views are just really stunning in this particular one that we went with the rolling hills. And there are other ones that have more elevated experiences as well. But yeah, this is just a little snapshot of our adventure in Durrës in Albania. This trip was really about unwinding and unplugging for Kat and I. But while I was doing that, I was thinking back about how when I decided to leave behind everything that I knew, everything that I grew up with, friends, family, jobs,
To move to a new country where I didn't speak the language and with many other uncertainties, it can be uncomfortable.
now are days really challenging? Absolutely. They can be super hard. But I think taking the leap and pushing yourself to the end of your comfort zone can really also give you opportunities that are unexpected, beautiful, and they give you perspective that make life better. So, I hope that you enjoyed a little snippet of Durrës and Albania.
And if you ever have the opportunity to do something that is outside your comfort zone, I say take the leap. Because what you can discover will be so worth it.
Thank you for always watching. Consider subscribing, share to someone who might also enjoy an adventure out to Durrës, Albania, and we'll see you in the next one. So as always, live passionately and stay inspired.